at another station, which is the water intake structure of Chitgar River, located on Can River. At first, you may be surprised to see this structure just besides the river, which I will explain what is the use and benefit of it for the citizens. The structure recharges Chitgar Lake, which is an artificial and recreational lake located at around 2.5 kilometers from here. At first, let's have a quick look at the lake. One of the final achievements of urban river restoration is to create such aesthetic environment like this lake, beautiful lake, like different shopping malls around here, like different cuisines and restaurants, the amusement park on the right side of myself, and the playground for children to reconnect citizens with ecosystems, rivers, etc., providing some opportunities for citizens to use recreational aspects of rivers and urban water bodies. Worth noting that there are two main water resources for the lake: river flow from Cam River and treated wastewater. As we all know, the quality of water entering Chitgar Lake holds its utmost importance, so sewage is not allowed to be disposed in the river unless it is well treated. I'm in a restaurant, a fast food restaurant, and just behind me you can see the lake, which is called Chitgar Lake. It's a beautiful view from here. I wish you could find some spare time to visit this beautiful lake and the park around it, which is surrounded by reasonable street food and of course at the southern part with expensive high-class restaurants. Of course this restaurant is a fast food restaurant, and it's quite cheap, or let's say almost cheap. Our field trip is virtual, so you may have a virtual bite to the delicious food indeed, but I'm quite sure that you would prefer this part to be actual and not virtual, so that you could taste the real food as I am right now. Bon appetit. Okay, my friends, let's get back to work again. This is actually Can River. You can see all the rubbles and stones scattered around here. Good to know that this river is the largest river in Tehran. It's actually the longest river with the highest discharge, and it's called a perennial river where we can find water all over the year. On my right side you can also see the intake of Chitgar Lake, which is right over there.
Now your question could be, how is the water supplied for the lake? The answer is that Can River, as described, is a perennial river, except during a few days in the middle of summer in really such a dry year like the current year we are in, and it normally feeds the lake. One more issue to mention is that due to high volume debris flows passing the river during the past years, lots of sedimentation is observed nearby the intake structure and rocks and stones exist.
I'm going to concisely explain about the intake. Just around 1 kilometer in the upstream area of Shahid Hemmat Highway, a water intake has been built for water transmission plan of Chitgar Lake. Indeed, the extra river flow and in addition treated wastewater joins the flow towards Chitgar Lake. Just right here, which I'm referring, you can see the structure, which consists of 3 intake gates, and down to the river flow, you can see how much water it has specifically in this period of the year, so it could fully be transferred to Chitgar Lake. But unfortunately, during summertime, there is not enough flow to be transferred to Chitgar Lake, and then we don't have that much water. We are 500 meters far from the Can River intake right now at the downstream area, and just right behind me you can see the famous highway which is called Hemmat Highway, and over there you can see Can River with its largest width throughout its route. This time we're going to see a wonderful structure inside the riverbed. It's actually an amphitheater which you could now see. People gather at this point and live shows are played here just inside the river. You may ask, how come this has been built in the middle of the riverbed?
The height of the amphitheater is fair enough to respond to more than a 100-year flood return period. Hence, there is no risk and people enjoy watching actors playing in the middle of the water flowing around, particularly in autumn and spring.
At the eastern part of Can River, you can see these very large gardens which produce famous fruits and export it to the bazaar, to the market. These gardens are irrigated by Can River, so they are quite green and fresh, as Can is a perennial river providing water all over the year. So as mentioned, just behind me, around 500 meters in the upstream area, we have Can River intake. On the right side of me, we have the gardens, as I mentioned, all over Can River within this road. The other side of the coin face indicates that Can is a wild river passing through the city. A historical flood occurred on 19 August 2015 and killed 12 people. This flood in the upstream and mountainous area of Can River has caused damage to the upstream branches of the river. We expect you to understand that the main point of this field visit site was to use the urban river flow to create a recreational space for citizens. Of course, this is the objective for rivers which have considerable amounts of water. In fact, the river restoration seeks to reconnect citizens with the rivers and the natural environment of the city.